is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Sounds like
30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee, featuring Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer George Plaster, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame coach Watson Brown, and young guns Billy Derrick and Michael Cindric. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in on a beautiful Wednesday. You can see outside that it's a beautiful day. Temperatures in that perfect range of about 70 degrees. Today, we are downtown at the Omni Hotel and excited to be here. As always, Todd Rodermel and his staff do a wonderful job. If you've never been here, you need to take a look at this because it's something really pretty spectacular. Let's call roll. Let's say hello to Coach Watson Brown, who joins us from up on the plateau. Watson, how are you?
George, I'm doing great. A little windy, but beautiful day.
Might not be perfect golf weather, but, you know, you could do a whole lot worse.
I played 9 holes this morning in it.
Did you?
Yeah. Hit a lot of low shots. It would have been your kind of day.
Worm burners.
A lot of low shots. Yeah, yours just don't get off the ground. Mine will get off the ground a little bit, but
yeah, mine hang time is not. If it were,
never have to be. I've never seen you throwing grass up in the air to see which way the wind's blowing. Because honestly, you don't care.
Wow.
Just hit it, and let it run.
Yeah, nice to have you with us today.
Yeah.
Billy, how are you?
George, I'm doing great. Have you ever been on the golf course with Watson?
You know, I was trying to think about that. He took all these rips at me. I don't think he's ever seen me play.
Really?
Yes, I have. Yes,
Where,
I have.
okay,
We
where
played
was
long time ago.
Really? And so it's
we weren't playing together, but we were in a scramble fundraiser way back.
And word traveled.
This was in the 80s when I was at Vanderbilt. And
okay.
And I saw you hit a few shots, and it didn't take me long to realize exactly where your game is. and evidently, it has not changed a whole lot in 30 years.
Not great. There was another Vandy coach that I played with one time who told his wife, Evelyn, he's the most hoarse golfer ever. Yeah.
Fill in the blank.
Fill in the blank. And 30 years later, I called him and I said, that has really scarred me. And his reaction was, yeah, I can tell it has. Bless his heart. I miss him. Let's get the show started as we do most every day during the football season. Terry McCormick has our daily Titans update. Terry, how are you?
George, I'm good. I'm getting the injury report together for you even as we speak.
Really? Work, show prep.
Absolutely.
Something that this
you
show
come to expect nothing less. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. So what is the injury report?
Well, there are several guys on said injury report. There are 4 guys who did not practice today. They are rookie receiver Traylon Burks, who was out with an illness, Amani Hooker, who missed practice with a concussion, Austin Hooper, who has a neck injury, and Zach Cunningham, whom you saw go down in the game on Sunday, George. He has an elbow injury. And then there are quite a few guys who were limited today. And I'll rattle those names off here, or at least some of them for you. Key guys, Ugo Amadi still dealing with the ankle injury. Kyle Phillips still dealing with the shoulder that caused him to be inactive. Ola Adeni still dealing with the neck injury. And a new one, Christian Fulton, added with a knee issue as being limited. The good news is, though, Bud Dupree practiced fully today for the Titans.
And they could certainly use him when they go to Indy. Terry, one of the names you brought up was Austin Hooper, who I guess I'm kind of scratching my head because I don't see him making a big impact early.
It's kind of surprising because all through the off-season work and training camp, it seemed like that he and Ryan Tannehill were making it a point to get extra reps together, to do whatever they could to kind of get on the same page. It hasn't happened yet. Tannehill was asked about it today, and he said that he feels like that it will come, that the targets for Hooper will come at some point here, not in the not too distant future. The other guy that they brought in as a veteran player, and he and Tannehill have seemed to gotten up to speed really quickly. And in fact, there's a story on Titan Insider that was just posted about that, is Robert Woods, who has really kind of clicked with Tannehill here over the last week or two.
Terry, I'll kind of let you take it from here. I have a feeling there's another item or two you want to get in, so go with it.
All right. As you know, George, with all these injuries, the Titans have been making a lot of roster moves. So we'll try to catch you up. They've been bringing in some veteran bodies, so to speak, to try and help out in areas where they are a little bit deficient. They brought in offensive tackle LaRaven Clark, signed him away from the Eagles practice squad onto the 53-man roster. You were already aware of Mario Edwards being brought in to be a member of the defensive line. They got him from the Jaguars practice squad. And then a guy who was just sitting at home, had been cut by the Broncos in camp and was waiting for the right opportunity, has been signed to the practice squad. That is Joe Schobert, former Pro Bowl linebacker when he was with the Cleveland Browns in 2017. So they're getting some veteran bodies in to be able to fill in the gaps while some guys are nursing some injuries.
Wow. Okay, well, the big game is a few days away. Terry, by the way, Mike Chappell, who you helped me with, will join us at 4:20 from up in Indy. So, number one, looking forward to that. Number two, thank you for the assist.
Sure. Tell Mike I said hello.
I'll do it. Go Braves.
Oh, waiting on number 61, George. I may not shave until Judge hits 61 and 62. Hope I don't end up looking like ZZ Top.
Might end up looking like Santa Claus.
He's going to get it done. The guy is way too good not to. And then when he does, he'll be leaving you.
He's sticking around. I really think the Yankees, they cannot let him get away.
Well, just remember this. You don't know that.
That's true. But you don't know that he's leaving either.
Oh, I got a pretty good idea. He and I are good friends.
Does the name Freddie Freeman mean anything to you, George?
Yes, that's all the more reason why I think he's leaving.
Oh, very nice.
See ya.
See ya.
Yes, Freddie Freeman. So we have an update to get to that is dominated by the hurricane that is, approaching Florida, and at this very moment may well have touched down there. I'm not a part of the Weather Channel, although I do play a weatherman. So, Billy, you have some reading to do and then on to the items.
Yes, we got items coming up. We got the Justin Tucker team and Sumner Funeral Cremation to talk about. First, the Justin Tucker team. They are proven to be trusted with your most personal asset. Call them at 615-906-8458. They are Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in realty. Also, Sumner Funeral and Cremation. They are sharing their family with yours in your time of need. Now with 2 convenient locations in Gallatin and Hendersonville, and online at sumnerfuneral.com. All right, we get going in today's update, Georgia, as you just mentioned, about the college games that could potentially be affected by Hurricane Ian. Tampa Bay and Kansas City, that one's supposed to be in Tampa Bay, but they're thinking
Sunday night.
Yeah, Sunday night, but that could potentially be moved to Minneapolis. And we were talking earlier, why not Nashville?
I don't know. I mean, Watson, I'm a little bit surprised by Minneapolis. You would think they would want to get somewhere closer to both Tampa Bay and KC. Houston was one thought. Nashville was another. I don't get Minneapolis.
It's in indoors. Aren't
Yeah.
they still playing? I think that's what it is. At Nashville, we got chance of bad weather ourselves this weekend around here. So I think that's what it is, and I don't think they care because you got Mahomes and Brady. Wherever you put it, they're going to come watch them play.
Oh yeah,
they're not going to have a problem with eyeballs with those two playing each other.
Agreed. Item number 2.
Next piece, we stay in the NFL. Zach Wilson has been cleared to play for the New York Jets on Sunday against Pittsburgh. Big game for both those teams. Zach Wilson, we'll see if he's actually at 100%, but he's going to give it a go.
You know, Watson, Joe Flacco did a little bit better than I thought he would.
Yeah, he did. More power to him. These NFL guys, though, George, bother me a little bit sometimes. I watched the one this weekend with Herbert and with the Chargers. No way that kid should have been out there. I don't understand why you got a long season, why you would rush them back a game early. Same thing with Zach Wilson. I'd want to make sure this kid is 100% well, not 85%, because it's not worth it. This is a long season, and I just don't get that. And I felt sorry for the kid watching the Chargers the other day. And doggone if they don't leave him in there with a game out of reach.
I was like, are you kidding me?
And you could tell he wasn't himself.
Yeah.
He was not the kid we watched play. And so I'm really disappointed in the Chargers for pulling that move.
Another injury status report. Jameis Winston says personally he will play Sunday against Minnesota. So we've got quarterback roulette with injuries around the NFL right now.
He's a tough son of a gun. Watson, he's another one. It's obvious is hurting.
He's hurting. He's been hurting. He was hurt last year. I mean, he's tougher nails. And like I say, I've known this kid. He was in my camps when he was 9 and 10 years old, and at UAB all the way up till high school.
Yeah.
And
really,
this kid is tougher than nails and very competitive. Sometimes you look at him and you don't, but if you know him like I do, this kid competing marbles. I mean, he's one of those kind of guys, and he's another one. If somebody don't tell him and hold him out to get him well, George, he'll go out there and play now.
Yeah,
he'll go. And again, I put that back on the Saints. If he's not well, why would you not hold him out for 2 weeks and get him well? I don't know. I don't get this.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Another quarterback, Dak Prescott, says he is unlikely to play Sunday against Washington. So not surprised by that. I mean, he's definitely not well either.
Well, first of all, Cooper Rush looks better than some starting quarterbacks in this league.
Yeah, and believe it or not, they cut him, right? They cut him and re-signed him on the practice squad. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that.
No, you are right about it.
I mean, he's a pretty good player, because I could tell when Prescott went down, they weren't as alarmed as everybody else was. We talked about that, George, on the air. And you take a chance and cut this kid that somebody could have picked him up, and yet he's a solid football player. Man, there's some crazy stuff going on in the NFL right now.
Last piece, Joey Bosa is banged up. He tore his groin. I think that was in last game, and he's going to have surgery on that. He's placed on the IR. So the Chargers are without arguably their best player on that team.
Bad loss.
And a long loss. He's out for weeks now with that. That's not a good surgery. Hamstrings and groin surgical on those two injuries, man, is tough.
So let me kind of tell people what we're doing today. We will go up to Indianapolis after the break and talk with Mike Chappell from Fox 59 in Indy. Then at 5 o'clock on the button, Butch Spyridon from the Convention and Visitors Bureau will join us. We'll get the very latest. He's been right in the middle of the whole movement to see to it that we get a new downtown stadium, preferably a domed stadium for a lot of reasons. Then we'll get into a breakdown of the Braves and the Mets. They are dead even going into tonight. Atlanta is in Washington. The Mets are home against the Marlins. And then they got a 3-game series in Atlanta over the weekend that likely is going to decide the division winner and then the first wild card. We'll go to the break. From the Omni in downtown Nashville, this is Main Street Media Television.
Buying or selling a home can be a very personal experience. Why not go with the team that receives nearly all of their business from referrals? Clearly a trusted name in real estate. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners has sold more than 500 homes in the last 7 years. Voted best in Sumner County multiple times. Proven to be trusted with your most personal assets. Call the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners at 615-906-8458. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in realty.
I highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation because of their caring nature and attentiveness to detail.
Pre-planning your funeral now will bring you peace of mind and less stress to your loved ones. When the chaos of losing you happens, your family can honor and celebrate your life, knowing things are happening just as you wanted them to. Pre-planning determines the details of your funeral, cemetery services, and can be less expensive. We are honored to serve you and are always here for you in your time of need.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you. When you're thinking about golf, consider Riverside Golf Links. Under new ownership, the course has improved dramatically. It's now 27 holes, complemented by a 9-hole executive course. Book a tee time now at 615-847-5074 and get ready to enjoy the beauty of golf in the Old Hickory area at Riverside Golf Links.
I'm Bart Durham. I was sworn in as a lawyer in 1963, and I've been working as a lawyer since then.
We're a firm that does exclusively personal injury, a lot of tractor-trailer crashes. Insurance companies will open up their checkbooks when you force them to.
We have systems that work.
We get the most money for our clients in the shortest amount of time.
I'm Blair Durham. My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
This is Eric Berner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. People hire me because I use a customized, individualized, and personal approach for the person I'm working with. Everyone's situation is different. If you've lost a spouse or a parent and want to make sure your inheritance is utilized and does not just disappear, I can help with that. Call me at 615-235-1058 or email Eric at rockcastlewealth.com.
We are back from the beautiful Omni Hotel in downtown Nashville. You can see downtown in the background. It's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. The Titans still a few days away from a big showdown against kind of the new arch rival, the Indianapolis Colts. And with that in mind, we're headed up to Indy and talk with Mike Chappell from Fox 59 in Indy. Mike, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. First of all, thank you for taking the time to do this.
Sure.
So it kind of feels like the Titans and the Colts were in exactly the same boat Sunday, kind of the season hanging in the balance. And boy, you all came out on all cylinders.
Yeah, it's early in the season, but boy, each team you need some. At some point, you need positive reinforcement for whatever your message is, and you can play yourself out of things early. I think the AFC South is going to keep people around because I don't know that anyone's really going to take off. We'll see. We'll see if Jacksonville's for real. Maybe they are. But the Colts needed it really badly. I mean, the schedule was set up to sort of set yourself up for the AFC South. 5 of the first 7 games against the division, and you open against Houston and Jacksonville, 2 teams expected to be in rebuilding mode, and didn't go well. And then against the Chiefs, they weren't perfect by any stretch, but they played well. The Chiefs kept giving them opportunities, and finally Matt Ryan took them down and scored. So they did what they had to do, pretty much with the same thing that the Titans did.
Mike, kind of tell us what's going on with Matt Ryan. This is a guy that we know a lot about. Most anybody who knows football thinks highly of him, but it's been a tough start. What's going on?
Protection. A lot of it's protection. He's not Phillip Rivers as far as being, immobile, but he's also not Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray. The protection has been really shoddy. Jacksonville exploited it, which they always tend to do. And Kansas City really hurt him with a lot of free blitzes, which it's crazy because, the quarterback and the center has to get things set up to where there's not free blitzes. And there were 5 or 6 times where guys have been unblocked. And that's just not the way this team's built. They've always been top 5, top 10 in fewest sacks allowed. And not so much this year. He's been sacked 12 times, 3rd most in the league. And it's resulted in bad plays, interceptions. He's had 7 fumbles, not lost 7. He's had 7 fumbles, lost 2. And I think 3 of them have come on pressure. 4 of them have been bad snaps. Those are just aberrations. But until they get this protection fixed, it's just going to be tough on offense. This is not a strong receiver group. It's young and unproven. Tight ends, young and unproven. And you're really putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback when you're not giving him, the required time just to do his job. And until they get the passing game fixed, the running game's not going to be where it needs to be. So it's all intertwined, but it all goes back to the offensive line. The highest paid offensive line in the league. They've invested heavily in it. And right now they're not getting bang for their buck.
Let me toss this one out here. We all know how it played out at the end, where the Jacksonville game a year ago was a debacle and Carson Wentz got blamed for a lot of it. Even before that game, did you have a sense that they were going to part ways?
You knew that they weren't totally happy, but not to that extent. Not to the extent that after that game, the owner had decided that they were moving on, not knowing who the successor was going to be. I mean, how upset do you have to be with a quarterback to say, I don't want him as my quarterback? Who's it going to be? Well, we don't know, but we don't want this guy. So it was a lot of things that built up over the year. Leadership, which is always one of those intangibles. How do you define leadership or lack of leadership? And it mattered that he wasn't vaccinated. It did. And they decided they weren't going to say, maybe another year. They'd seen enough from all around, on the field, off the field, locker room, that they were moving on, which credit them for that. They weren't going to sort of compound their mistakes. And they were able to mitigate their losses by, the trade with Washington, where it might be 2 second-rounders. And, oh, by the way, Washington ate $28 million of his contract. So, but that shouldn't let them off the hook for making the move in the first place last off season. But fortunately, after they parted ways with Winston, a few weeks later, Matt Ryan became available, and now they're hoping to have him for 2 or 3 years, probably 2, and then find their quarterback in next year's draft. You just can't keep reloading at quarterback. This is the 5th year with a different starting quarterback, and that's just no way to grow as a franchise.
Yep, you're right about that. Watson, what do you got for Mike?
Mike, a lot of times in sacks, it's offensive line, and it's also the quarterback holding the ball too long, or somebody goes the wrong way, which makes him hold the ball too long. Is it a little bit of everything because you got a lot of new receivers, a brand new quarterback? I just know how that works. It's not always just the offensive line. What do you see, and did it get better last week against the Chiefs? And because the Titans will put pressure on you, and will do it with 4, especially when they go to their pass rush package group. It's pretty solid, and if Dupree gets back, I think it'll be better than it was last week. So what do you see in it, and did it improve last week?
Well, not really, because he got sacked 5 times, and I think there were 10 hits and five sacks. And it wasn't so much getting beat one-on-one, although right guard Danny Pinter had a couple of bad plays that nearly cost him big time. But it was primarily the free blitzers that came in. I'm telling you, there were 5 or 6 plays where guys came in scot-free. And that was a case of whoever was supposed to slide over and pick the guy up, he didn't do it. Whether it was a tight end or whether it was one of the tackles. One time, just from the naked eye, it looked like Jonathan Taylor, the running back, didn't slide inside and pick up Nick Bolton blitzing up the middle. And it's not so much Ryan holding the ball too much. Go back and watch the first 3rd down play where they blitz and he's got no chance to get the ball out. And there's a key 4th and 1 or 2 early in the game. They blitz, and he doesn't even have a chance to hit the hot read. On the broadcast, Tony Romo saying, throw it. But there was no time. There was just no time to throw it. And there's few quarterbacks that can operate an offense like that. Yeah. They keep saying, we know what the answers are. We're going to get it fixed. And we'll see, because as you said, people watch video. They just do. And defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators, they watch video. And when there's blood in the water, they're going to come after you until you can prove that you can stop it.
Yeah. And the second thing about passing the ball, a lot of sacks might come from having to throw it, not throwing it when you want to. And with Taylor back there, why are the Colts not running the ball better? And have they gotten better at that over this 3-week time? Because that's big against the Titans to me. I mean, you let them get you in 3rd and longs or behind the chains. That's when I think they're at their best. And you keep it within the chains, the ball gets moved on them. So what's created that, and why has the running game not been better than it has with that offensive line?
Part of it is the offense is not giving him enough room to operate. The passing game's not operating the level you want it to be. So defenses can crowd the line somewhat. I'm not sure how much more 8-man boxes he's seen than normal. But it's just not – the offense just isn't working as a group. I went back and looked. I think he's got 61 attempts this year. 25% have been for no gain or a minus. That's just crazy.
Wow. That's crazy.
This kid's too good for that. And there's been 4 or 5 times where he's been hitting in the backfield with that free blitzer. So I really got to believe that if the passing game can just – they don't need to be overly dynamic, top 10, but have a competent pass game where you've at least got to honor that, and the running game will get going. I do think they're going to really try to not force the run, but they want that to be the cornerstone. If not with Tennessee, then certainly moving forward, because he's their best player. He's simply their best player. And we saw last year, you guys have seen it with Derrick Henry, how in a pass league, you can be successful running the ball, if the other elements around the running back are good enough. And that's what the Colts want to do. They believe in this offensive line. They believe in Ryan, and they believe in Taylor. And I just think they're going to come out and try to – the first game they did, he had 31 carries for 166. What's been missing so far from Taylor are the chunk plays. He'll get 13. I think he had a 21-yarder, but it's been 6, 5, 8, and then the minuses. So he's not breaking the big ones. They miss Jack Doyle. You guys know of Jack Doyle from way back when. He was kind of the unsung blue collar guy here, really a good tight end. But what he did in the run game with blocking was really immense. We saw that all through the years, and now we're seeing what's missing with that. So it's early. It's really kind of funny. I went back and looked at, I think Taylor's 4th or 5th in the league in rushing with like 286. Last year, after three games, he had 177. So he got up to a slow start and then just caught fire. I would assume maybe whichever team can kind of get their running game going. The Colts' run defense has really been dynamic so far, but they really want to get JT going.
You know, Mike, and my last thing, George, to me, these are mirrored image offenses right now.
No question.
It's unbelievable that we're talking the same things we've been talking with the Titans. Get back to what you do best. They worked their way back a little bit Sunday and won, and sounds like the Colts worked their way back a little bit and won. I really believe it's going to come down to which one keeps improving right here, and it's toss-up game to me with the teams having the same issues.
It's funny how in a league that you've got all these young quarterbacks and people throwing the ball 45 times a game, the Colts and Titans, they're built the same way. They just are.
Yeah.
You know, up front, get the running game. And the quarterback, yes, he's got to make plays, but you'd much rather have your running back run 25 times for 150 than your quarterback throw it 40 times for 250. So it's really crazy. And again, that's against the grain in where the league is now. It just is. But the Titans showed last year that in the last couple of years, you can do it that way. And the Colts believe they're doing it the right way too, but they've got to get the offensive line fixed.
Mike,
go ahead, George. Last thing would be, and both defenses, one of the strengths is stopping the run.
Right.
Both defenses.
When
I started looking at the Colts, I said, my gracious, this is mirrored image football teams.
Yeah. And the one thing, people need to just watch Grover Stewart, their tackle. He's really good in the middle, anchoring that unsung hero and all. They got all the big names with the Shaq Leonards and DeForest Buckners and Ngakoue. Grover Stewart's really a disruptive force in the middle against the run.
Yeah.
Mike, really appreciate your taking the time to come on and talk to us. It is interesting. It is like tossing both of them in a hat and saying, pick one. They're both so similar.
Yeah.
Thanks a bunch. We'll see how it plays out Sunday.
Thank you, guys. Be well.
Mike Chappell from Fox 59 in Indianapolis joining us. And he's right. You don't see this very often now in the pass-happy NFL where you got two teams with these great running backs, Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor. Enough said there. When we come back, Watson will break down this AFC South matchup a little bit farther. This is Main Street Media Television.
For Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly, they welcome every opportunity to serve and satisfy their clients. Whether you are looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and remodel is unique, luxurious, completed on time, and within budget. Contact them today to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects by logging on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit WellSkinMD.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthier skin. It's your last chance to get a spring tune-up for summer. Complete Service Heat and Air can clean your coils, check out your motor, and make sure you have cold air on that first hot day of summer. Complete Service Heat and Air is located in White Bluff, Tennessee. We do service and repair on heating and air the right way. 24/7 service. Call us at 615-797-3997. That's 615-797-3997. Serving Cheatham, Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Williamson counties. Have you heard about the high levels of radon in Middle Tennessee? Radon gas is the second leading cause of lung cancer, second only to smoking, and has no color, no taste, and no smell. The only way to know if you have radon is to test for it. Duret Radon Mitigation offers testing for small and large-scale residential and commercial properties, plus mitigation services. Visit DuretRadonMitigation.com to request testing or get a free estimate for mitigation. That's DuretRadonMitigation.com. Since 1865, the First Baptist Church of Gallatin on Winchester Street has served its community by catering to the least, the last, and the lost, providing a church of welcome used by God to save the lost, transform the saved, and impact its community. As a proud multi-ethnic congregation, Pastor Derek Jackson personally welcomes you to join them in fellowship Sunday mornings at 8 in person or at 10:45 in person or online at firstbaptistgallatin.org. First Baptist Gallatin on Winchester Street, serving with open arms as a true church of welcome.
It's always good to have the Drum and Bugle Corps join us. We're at the Omni Hotel in downtown Nashville. As you all can see behind me, a lot of folks headed home after the workday. Just a perfect Wednesday afternoon for a lot of things, including football. So, Watson, let's do our little check mark system on this Indy and Colts game up in Indy. And let's start with the running game. You give the edge to the Titans, but let's face it, these might be the two best running backs in the game.
Well, they are the two best running backs in the game. And we've run it maybe a little bit better than them. But honestly, George, I'd put that check mark a lot closer toward the middle. Maybe not just dead down the line, but I'd put it more toward the Colts over there than it is. And I think the one that comes out and runs it well enough to let other things happen good for you will be the one to win the game.
The Colts get the check mark in the throwing game, although they haven't been anything to write home about either so far, mostly because they can't protect Matt Ryan.
And that's where I'd say move that check mark closer to the middle because there's not a big difference in either one of them. And I think what's going to happen is the one that runs it the best or makes everybody think they can run it the best is going to get that play action pass going, which will really slow that pass rush down and let you throw the ball. So I'll bet you the Titans are going to do a lot more play action pass this week. I've listened to little hints. We're going to get Hooper more involved. We're going to get Burks more involved. I bet you they come out and we see a lot more play action pass in this game than we did last week against the Raiders.
Okay, defensively, those of you watching this will notice we've got the check mark right on the line, meaning dead even. Watson, I don't know what to think about the Titans defense. I came away thinking that for most of the Oakland, gosh, I keep saying that, Las Vegas, for most of the Las Vegas game, I thought it was more the Raiders shooting themselves in the foot than it really was effectiveness on the Titans side defensively. Kind of tell me what you think.
I 100% agree with that. I didn't think the defense was all that good Saturday, but they did keep their poise and not get down if a play is completed or whatever, and they made the Raiders beat them, and the Raiders couldn't do it. Let's talk this defense, George, and I think it's equal with the Colts. Both teams have played decent, but question marks. And let's look at it to last year. Is the run game defense better than last year? I'm not sure yet. It has been. It's solid, but I'm not sure it's as good as last year. Is the pass rush as good as last year? Absolutely not.
Not even close.
Not even close. Landry's gone for the year, and Dupree didn't play last week. He could be back this week. Is the secondary as good as last year? We weren't very good last year back there to me either, but we covered it up with an unbelievable pass rush that right now we don't have this year. So I'm not sure we can say this defense is as good as it was last year, George. But the Colts have had issues too. That's why I think it's toss-up city on defense right now.
Hey, Watson, before
what are you getting to eat there, by the way?
Well, I'm about to show you. And Todd, if
this ain't right here. Hold on.
Over here just a second. Watson's all upset. He's in Cookeville. He didn't get any food. Get down. This is Todd Rodermel.
Hey, Watson.
Who runs
Todd
at the
Can you box that and send it to Cookeville, or can you UPS that, or can you FedEx that real quick up to Cookeville?
George told me to order extra because he knew you wasn't going to be here, Watson.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts bad.
Okay, so this is not exactly, Watson, the Dewdrop Inn that we're
that's
at.
Not looking like Dewdrop Inn food
No,
either.
this is as 5 stars it gets.
Oh.
Okay, tell me about these various food
chef,
groups.
Come here, chef. Let me get the chef in here.
Okay.
Chef?
This is live TV at its best. Come on over here. So tell them who you are, get close.
All right.
And tell them what it is I'm about to stuff my face with.
Oh, we got you a plate of things. First of all, my name is Chef Frank Tidwell here at Barlon's. I've been here for almost a year now. And this is coming off the new menu that we just released less than a month ago. First and foremost, at the top right, it's our traditional double cheeseburger, Barlon's double stack. To your right is our new vegetarian option to take over. It's a caprese sandwich. Comes with smoked mozzarella, fresh arugula, balsamic drizzle, and Roma tomatoes. On the back end is our pulled pork quesadilla. Our pork takes 2.5 days to make it a process. So it goes into it. Down here on the bottom is our house famous club sandwich. Cajun smoked turkey, ham, bacon, smoked Swiss cheese.
Look at Watson, how upset he is.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's killing me.
though. You'll be able to smell it through this. And then what we're also famous for, our wings. You got the bourbon barbecue wings, lemon pepper. Over there on the other side, you also have our house-made buffalo and the extra hot. So hope you like heat.
Oh, man.
Other than that, enjoy. That's what we like to tell everybody.
Oh, and we intend to. Todd, will you come back over here just a second? Known Todd Rodermel for years, and every time we come down here, he takes care of us, Watson, as though we're important. Now, you know different, and I don't want you saying a whole lot. I know this is probably not great TV.
No,
but
definitely not with my face.
This is incredible.
Oh,
George, when you come to Kitchen Notes and we're closed in the afternoon, I've got to keep you fed. You were looking a little peaked when you walked in earlier today.
Oh, good gracious. If that's what you call peaking, I mean, geez. Believe me, Todd.
So jealous.
Well,
Todd, believe me, there will
house.
be nothing left on that table by the time the show's over. He will eat everything inside. Might give Billy a little bit, but he will eat everything inside.
And whatever we don't eat, we'll box up, and we're not sending.
Buddy.
What Todd is saying is right, though. Get your butt out of the house, get down here, and you'll get some nice food.
It's only an hour drive.
That might do it. I don't get paid enough to come down there, but if he'll feed me like that, I might just come down there now.
Okay, next time we're coming down here, we'll let you know it. Until then, eat your heart out.
I'll make sure.
No, I'll be down there.
Send him a biscuit. I love
I'll
that.
send you a couple biscuits, Watson.
Oh, aren't you a nice guy? Thank you, Todd.
Watson, you may be able to say this live and in person because I believe that Todd will be a part of Butch Spyridon's bowling team. Yeah, he doesn't know what he's getting into. I've told him this is a lot of fun. He said he'd throw his elbow out or something.
My hip.
Okay, hip. That is an issue. Listen, thank you for the hospitality as always.
Watson, sorry you missed it, pal. Next time.
Oh, man, you're killing me. Thanks, Todd. You're killing me.
So at this point, who really cares about the Colts running game?
I don't. You're killing me.
Oh, man.
I'm
Todd,
already hungry. So
thank you so much. So, Watson, I don't know where we were, and we'll come back to
I think we were to the defense.
Yes, I'm to the food. You're to the kicking game or the defense or whatever.
I don't care about the defense anymore either. I'll just watch you eat.
Billy, what do you think?
I mean, this is I did not expect that today.
Oh,
Watson, I really feel for you over there.
God, it's killing me.
You know what?
Man.
There's nothing on there. There's nothing he has laid out there that I don't really like. Every single item he talked about is one of my favorites. So.
It looks really, really good.
Oh, is that the double cheeseburger, George?
Yeah, talk about the running game.
Oh, geez. Can I run to Nashville real quick? That'd be the running game.
Man. We need to go to a break anyway.
No, I don't think so. I think we're about 3 minutes away. Watson,
he wants to eat in front of me.
Yeah,
That's what he wants to do.
Put the graphic back up. Okay. Watson, tell us about the intangibles.
The intangibles are you're killing me. You're going to be full, and I'm going to be thinking about that all night long. That's the intangibles.
This is really good.
I think the intangible, while you take a big bite of that cheeseburger, I think the intangibles are that if I'll give a little edge, even though I'm picking the Titans, I'll give a little edge to the Colts because they're playing at home. I think that does make a difference.
So would you like to see the final score?
The final score will be
this cheeseburger.
Take another bite of the cheeseburger and put up the final score.
Okay, so you think this thing is like decided by a field goal right to the wire?
I think it's in the 20s and it'll be decided by a field goal, yes.
Wasn't last year up there something like 33-31?
Yeah, that was high scoring last year.
Yeah, I think it'll be decently high scoring, and one of them will have a late touchdown or field goal to win the game.
Okay, so I think it'll be the Titans.
George can't think about anything else other than what's right in front of him right now.
Well, if you were here,
this is going to be the
would
toughest.
This be good enough?
That's painful.
How would this work?
You're killing me, George. You're having a blast.
Oh,
you are having a blast. I'm telling you, Terry would vouch for this. The man is in hog heaven, Billy, because he's got unbelievable food in front of him, which he never turns down, and it's free. He's not having to pay a penny for nothing.
That's the best part about it.
Believe me. And get boxes ready. Whatever's left is going to his house.
Well, they've already brought the boxes.
There you go. It's going straight to the plaster home.
Okay, guess what we got after the break?
What we got?
Stat of the day, or is it food of the day?
You can't think and eat at the same time. So
no, I'll do very well.
This is going to be tough.
Yeah. Stat of the day is coming up. I'm a pig in slop, essentially. Watson, this looks really good too. Yeah. Nice club.
I don't know how much more of this Watson can take.
That's club sandwich, isn't it? I love club sandwich.
Would you like a carrot?
That's about what you'd send me. You'll get Todd to box me about 3 carrots and send them up here. Jeez.
We'll go to the break. Stat of the day is next. This is Main Street Media Television, where food is key.
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor-trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor-trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor-trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Hey, this is George Plaster, and I'm excited to announce that the second annual Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night is going to happen Monday, November the 28th at the Hermitage Strike and Spare. The three charities that will benefit are Last Minute Toy Store, Martha O'Brien Center, and Stars. And our intention is to get them that money so it can do the most amount of good at Christmas time. Now, here's where I need your help. I need you to sign up to play in the most fun charity event you've ever been involved in. Imagine 64 foursomes with 64 sports personalities in the area. As a single player, it's $200. If you get a foursome, it's $800. And what I want you to do is reach out to me via email, plastergeorge@gmail.com, and we'll get you signed up and get you ready and raring to go. Again, that's plastergeorge@gmail.com for a night you will never forget.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee. We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports cards, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards. We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
It is now time for Stat of the Day here on the George Plaster Show. Not Food of the Day, although we've got quite a bit of it in here now. John English, Vintage Sports and Cards, first sponsor. You can find them in Shelbyville, Tennessee, open Tuesdays through Fridays from noon to 5 o'clock and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5. Visit them online at johnenglishgradedcards.com. Also, Eric Berner with Rockcastle Wealth Advisors. Call Eric at 615-490-7052 or visit rockcastlewealth.com for more information. All right, let's get to today's stat of the day. Which NFL team has the worst point differential in the NFL right now? The worst point differential.
Wow, we're getting a lot of those, aren't we, Watson?
Yeah. I'm not real fond of this one.
Off the first week, it would have been the Arizona Cardinals who got blasted by the Rams. Then they lost by 2 to Oakland. Actually, I take that back. They won by 2 against Oakland in a bitterly contested game that went to OT. Is that right? 1 by 2 or 1 by 6? Watson, have you got somebody you're thinking about?
I'm trying to think who's been bad. I'm trying to put that together. Who's been bad, George? We got to start with losses.
Okay, is anybody winless?
The Raiders, they're the only team.
Raiders have got.
But they've been in some close games.
Yeah, they've been in some close ones. Who did Arizona play Sunday?
Not sure. They did win.
They played the Rams. Watson, I'm going Arizona. I think it's Arizona.
I can't think of one, George. I don't know that it's Arizona, but I can't think of who I'd put up there in front of them. I can't.
They got ripped in 2 of the 3.
How about Washington?
I think their games have been too close. Arizona got beat by more than 3 touchdowns in the opener, and then the Rams put it on them. I think it's Arizona. I'm sticking with that. Okay. Let's see what the real answer is.
Your Tennessee Titans, minus 33.
Oh, the 41-7 game, George.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Golly.
Wow.
That's a big one.
Okay. Let me say one thing real quickly before we officially go to the 5 o'clock hour. You all have seen the commercial about the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. And if you're stalling around saying, I'll get in at the end, think again, it's not going to happen. We will have this thing sold out, 64 foursomes to go with 64 sports personalities. We will have this done and sold out before the start of November. Too many people a year ago had way too much fun, and most of them are agreeing to come back, which I am thrilled about. It's making my life a whole lot easier. Butch Spyridon was one of those people. We'll talk to him in about a minute and a half, but I know you got something you got to read before we get to Nashville's busiest man.
Yes, we do. George, the 5 o'clock hour is presented by Middle Tennessee Bone and Joint. They combine state-of-the-art orthopedic service with a family atmosphere. Whether it's a sports injury, a sprained ankle, or a major joint replacement, MTBJ has the staff, training, and equipment needed to take care of any patient in any circumstance. Visit them on their website. That's mtbj.net for more information.
I'm biased, but I happen to think this man is the hardest working man in Nashville over the last 30 years plus. What he has done for our city is nothing short of amazing. Look at him, very dapper today. Got the sport coat on. He knew he was going to be on TV. Butch, how are you? Uh-oh.
Well, we got a little bit of a delay on Butch.
I don't know. Can he hear it? Butch, can you hear us?
Nope.
Doesn't look like he can.
It doesn't. So how do we rectify that?
Let's see here. Well, he's talking. Butch, I think you have your mic muted. Great TV, huh?
Isn't it though? So we're trying in some form or fashion. He may be texting one of us here. That's my phone. Yeah. And that's Butch's phone. And he's probably texting one of us. You know, I could have some fun with him and say, you can't say that on live TV. He has not done that, though. Let's see what the word is that we get from him, because we really do want to talk to him.
Yeah, we're still not hearing you, Butch.
I can't hear y'all, he says.
Interesting. Not sure why.
Okay. Why don't you give him a way, if we can't make that happen, we'll just get him on by phone and be done with it.
Okay, we'll just
You
do
think
that.
we can do that?
We
Okay,
certainly can.
we'll effort to get that done here in about a minute. Anyway, let me leave you all with this. If you're waiting around, don't wait, because this thing is going to be sold out, as I mentioned, before the start of November. And number one, I am thrilled and so appreciative that so many people who participated in it a year ago had so much fun, and they're willing to do this again. The three charities that we're trying to help are Last Minute Toy Store, which is just an incredible deal. The Martha O'Brien Center, I went to their Breakfast of Champions yesterday morning. The amount of good they do is incredible. And then STARS is the third. We've added STARS, which is Aaron Donick's charity. STARS is Students Taking a Right Stand. And so we are very excited about being able to get that done and looking forward to not only a great night of bowling, but 2 or 3 days later to get the checks to these charities where they can use these funds during Christmas, where they are most needed. Okay, I think we've got Butch on the line with us.
Never mind.
No? What are we doing?
Just tried calling him. He did not answer.
Okay. Welcome to live TV. Watson, I could turn this into a food show.
Go ahead, George. Take a big bite. What the heck?
What the heck? So we're efforting to get this to happen. Butch has been, as a lot of you all know, one of the leaders, one of the real movers and shakers in this whole what goes on next when it comes to replacing Nissan Stadium, whether it's a dome stadium or however we're going to do this. Billy, you may be giving me a signal, maybe not.
Still not able to reach Butch.
Okay. Do you need his number?
I have his number.
Okay, you have his number. That's good. We will continue to try. Let's show him that we're trying to call him.
I don't know that we can do that. He's on the stream right now, but we're
not able to.
Not able to hear him.
Not able to hear him. Well, he looks good. That's a heck of an interview. Anyway, the last time we had Butch on, I'll stall for just a second. The last time we had him on, he unloaded a piece of info that I don't think had been out there, which is that the Metro Council has asked for a second opinion on Nissan Stadium. Does it just simply need to go away? Or is it, and I'm going to create a word. Okay, there's Butch, I think. Butch, we tried, but I think we've got you on there. We can see you and we can hear you. Thank you for doing this.
Well, sorry about my technological prowess, but happy to join you.
Okay. Did anybody have more fun a year ago than you at the bowling deal?
No, I'm going to claim first prize.
Listen, I told Todd Rodermel, who just walked in here a few minutes ago, all the food that you may see is courtesy of Todd, that he absolutely needs to accept your invitation, that it's unbelievable fun, and that I'll be very disappointed if he does not do that.
Oh, I'm going to shame him Tuesday, but yes.
Okay. So last time you came on to talk about this whole stadium situation, the city, I guess, had hired a good friend of ours, Russ Simons, to take a look at Nissan Stadium and, can you refurbish it? Is it simply better to tear it down, start all over with something else? That's still a fluid situation?
Yeah, I think they would like to have it done by the end of October. I think the current plan is it would be sometime in November. But that is underway, and hopefully we see it sooner than later.
So, Butch, I have believed all along that ultimately our city is going to end up building a dome stadium. But you've kind of cautioned me that there are some roadblocks to this before we ever see, stuff in the ground, that kind of thing. Talk about the procedures that have to happen for this to all go down.
So best I could elaborate, the Titans and the mayor have to agree to terms, which I think they're pretty close. Then Councilman Mendez is chairing a committee that's doing the council's due diligence. That's where Russ's study will come in. New versus rehab, and what's the cost estimate of each. I can't imagine that study does not, excuse me, does not say rehab is a lot of good money after bad. Then it will go to a council vote, whichever way it's leaning. And we would hope to have all of that done before the end of the year so that we can meet a 2026 football season timeline. And for me, start to go out and book some big events.
So, Butch, let's talk about that, because you've had unbelievable success just down the road from here with putting all these events in the convention center. If you know you've got a 2026 timeline and that there will be a dome stadium, talk about the kind of things you then go out and pitch.
Well, let me reiterate the timeline. Knowing that it's approved now being end of the year, 4 to 5 years is a typical window for some of these larger events. Then take into account college football playoff might, strictly in my opinion, but I think it's a strong might, move their 2026 timeline up. But regardless, they will start taking bids for 2026 because that's a new television year. And then you know what the Super Bowl's like in terms of lead time. And then you just saw where the NFL is going to do the Pro Bowl different. And SummerSlam was here with WWE. So we know what they think of Nashville right now. So there's nothing we can't go after. And if we're not successful the first run, we will be the second time. Everybody likes the shiny new penny. Everybody loves this market, and they know that we do big events as well or better than anybody in the country.
But you laid out a pretty darn specific money line the last time you were on, what the NFL and Amy Strunk would put in, what the state would put in. You talked about the hotel tax. Has anything changed there since we last talked?
I think what I saw recently, it looked like the Titans and the NFL have gone up a little bit. I can't verify that, but my original number was $700 million, and the other day I saw an $800 million number. And then I do know the Titans have specifically said they will backstop any overruns. So the city has almost nothing to lose and everything to gain, because I think we talked about it. They owe somewhere in the vicinity of $30 million today in past improvements that the city has not reimbursed the Titans for. So the Titans would let them off the hook on that. And then the Titans would take all future improvements away. And without this, the city's got to find a way to make that one of the 5 best stadiums in the country on their dime out of the general fund. So it doesn't really make any sense when you look at the relief the city will get and the upside of big events that Nashville could host beyond Titan games.
Watson, you're hearing all this. Tell me where you want to go with Butch.
Butch, help a guy that's kind of idiot here. What is it? the thought is tear down where it is, rebuild it exactly in the same spot? Are there thoughts of 2 or 3 different options? Where is all of this going to take place if and when it does take place?
The proposed new stadium would be built adjacent to the current stadium. So the Titans would continue to play right up until it's time to move next door. And then once they move into the new facility, if that happens, then the city and the Titans would tear down the old stadium, and that would become part of the East Bank redevelopment.
Yeah, and they would put something else there or use it for parking. How would that work?
I think you see, and that's the part that still has some ways to go. So the idea, I believe, is let's get phase 1 done, and that's the stadium, and then deal with phase 2, which is then retail, office, residential, green space, transportation. All of that's phase 2. But if you don't do the stadium, then you can't do any of that because you don't have the land. The Titans control that land for 17 more years. So I left that out of what's the good for this city. Not only comes in getting off the hook financially, but then you begin to develop almost 100 acres of East Bank, and it's been far too long since our riverfront had the right kind of attention.
But to me, this whole thing is a no-brainer because, I mean, it's hard to expand the city because there's no land. Now you expand the city on the other side of the river. I mean, that's just a no-brainer to me. And now no telling what happens when you expand to the other side of the river, no telling where it'll go.
Well, you end up with almost 200 acres that you could develop as essentially an extension of downtown. And you can't cram much more in to our current downtown than what's being crammed in right now. And I say that with love and affection. I love that we have a lot of new assets, but it's hard to do anymore. So yeah, we need to hop the river.
If our leaders in this city, county don't see this, it's just a no-brainer to me. I don't see any negatives to it. And the other thing, Butch, to me, Nashville really is a year-round climate. It'll get cold and we'll have a little snow here or ice every once in a while, but it's a year-round climate. It's not warm year-round, but it gives you all the seasons. And you build a dome, there is nothing that couldn't come here year-round, which to me, the city just unbelievably benefits from. You've got people coming in here even more than they do now in the whole year, not just football, but all through the whole seasons. And we have beautiful falls and springs. And gosh, Butch, this thing could turn into something unbelievably special for the city, in my personal opinion. And I'm not talking football.
No, you get some winter concerts and some major acts and just big events in the times of year. Well, even in the fall, it's really hard to do something at Nissan Stadium because of natural grass.
Yeah.
But with an enclosed building, you can flip on a dime and actually do things all year long. So I couldn't agree more. And for a city this size, to be able to capture those kinds of things that we would like to capture, I think it's good for the locals. If you're a sports fan, who wouldn't like to be able to go to the Final Four without having to pay a 4-day minimum at a hotel and buy an airline ticket? All of a sudden, that ticket becomes pretty attractive. Same thing with Super Bowls. So I'm biased, I know it, but I also know that the critics said the arena would be a bust, and the critics said Nissan Stadium and the Titans would be a bust, and the critics said the Music City Center would be a bust. And I haven't seen any bust at any of those things. So we have the opportunity to generate some more revenue for this city and this state. Why wouldn't we do it? And we don't have to grow real big to do it.
No, and last thing, George, that I'll throw into this is this, an enclosed dome stadium, has a lot more potential than any of the things we built. This would have much more potential than any of the things you just talked about we built, Butch, because it opens the door for any possible thing you'd want to bring here because of the size of it. So, I mean, gracious sakes, I don't see why the city wouldn't be all over this. And I know how they got to play the politics of it and not show their hand, but my gracious, how in the world, if I'm the mayor of this city, I'd be all over this.
Well, I do think our mayor has bought in, and to his credit, crafted a pretty good deal for the city, better than I ever thought it could be. So yeah, we have to have some confidence in ourselves. And I've said it many times, cities don't stand still. You're either growing or you're dying. And I'd rather be on the growing side. Some people don't like growth. I get it. We just have to focus on managing the growth and take advantage. You hit the nail on the head. This city is on fire. Let's leverage it while we can.
Butch, let me close it this way. This sure feels like, gosh, 26 years ago, where we had the NFL vote yes referendum. There's no telling how much free advertising Rick Regan got from me in leading the NFL vote yes part of it. Now, it's not going to get to that, but people are going to expect us to discuss the issues and be very pro arena, dome stadium, whatever. So take an opportunity here to talk for a minute or two to people who really aren't buying what you're saying and tell them why they should.
If you're not buying what I'm selling, I understand. But then you have to look at the city has a debt of around $30 million. They owe the Titans. And then they're going to need, probably on the low end, $500 million to renovate that stadium. So there is a ironclad lease with Metro obligations to take care of that. So if you care about the city, we have a chance to get the city off the hook. Just plain and simple, that goes away. So that's one reason. Another reason would be we have the ugliest riverfront of any major city in the country that I know of. And why wouldn't we want to elevate our riverfront and make it accessible and usable? So there's something outside of football. And then I would go, okay, if you don't like the NFL, college football would have a place. Final Fours. I mentioned WrestleMania. I mentioned concerts. We could go all day long. The Barrett Jackson auto auction has been wearing us out for years. We don't have a place to put them. They want to come spend a week and bring all their high-end auction cars to Nashville. Okay, we can do that. What do you like? And we can probably find a use for that stadium to scratch that itch. So I'm in. I'm not biased. The other thing I would say is we have a contract with Metro, this organization. Our job is to advise the city on opportunities and to market and sell the city. We haven't been wrong, as I alluded to, with the other things we have back. We've put our own hotel tax money where our mouth is. So we're not just saying, oh, you pay for it. And it's the grand slam for Nashville. If you're a sports fan, residential, T-PAC's being discussed, so the arts could benefit. It has a ton of upside with 100 acres of development.
Butch, I can't thank you enough for coming on. Get your bowling arm ready. We're not that far away.
I got to get in the right way here.
I love it.
I'm ready.
I love it. Just imagine, Butch, just imagine this. Okay, while we're doing this, what if America's guest were still alive?
Oh. Well, first, he'd be all over himself on the stadium.
Yes.
And then he'd be telling you and me what to do about bowling at the same time. So,
we would get a report the next morning about 7:45. Here are the things you screwed up.
yeah.
And you know what?
We're going to keep screwing up till we get it right.
You know what? It wouldn't be the first phone call we got from him.
No.
And by the way, it was 417-9804. And you and I will never forget that number.
I still have it in my phone.
Oh, I do too. Butch, thank you for the visit.
No, thank you guys. Tell your listeners, speak up and advocate. If you're a sports fan, talk to our council members. Talk it up, because the critics are out in force. And I've said it before, the proponents need to be vocal as well.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Okay, we got it done. We got Butch Spyridon on. When we come back, even a hurricane may not stop one of the best pennant races we have seen in a while. I will break down my Braves and their Mets next. This is Main Street Media Television.
Buying or selling a home can be a very personal experience. Why not go with the team that receives nearly all of their business from referrals? Clearly a trusted name in real estate. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners has sold more than 500 homes in the last 7 years. Voted best in Sumner County multiple times. Proven to be trusted with your most personal assets. Call the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners at 615-906-8458. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in realty.
I highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation because of their caring nature and attentiveness to detail.
Pre-planning your funeral now will bring you peace of mind and less stress to your loved ones. When the chaos of losing you happens, your family can honor and celebrate your life, knowing things are happening just as you wanted them to. Pre-planning determines the details of your funeral, cemetery services, and can be less expensive. We are honored to serve you and are always here for you in your time of need.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you. When you're thinking about golf, consider Riverside Golf Links. Under new ownership, the course has improved dramatically. It's now 27 holes, complemented by a 9-hole executive course. Book a tee time now at 615-847-5074 and get ready to enjoy the beauty of golf in the Old Hickory area at Riverside Golf Links.
I'm Bart Durham.
I was sworn in as a lawyer in 1963, and I've been working as a lawyer since then.
We're a firm that does exclusively personal injury, a lot of tractor-trailer crashes. Insurance companies will open up their checkbooks when you force them to.
We have systems that work.
We get the most money for our clients in the shortest amount of time.
I'm Blair Durham. My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
This is Eric Berner with Rock Castle Wealth Advisors. I help people in the pursuit of making their money live as long as they do. People hire me because I use a customized, individualized, and personal approach for the person I'm working with. Everyone's situation is different. If you've lost a spouse or a parent and want to make sure your inheritance is utilized and does not just disappear, I can help with that. Call me at 615-235-1058 or email eric@rockcastlewealth.com.
It's a Wednesday afternoon. I'm about to say hello to a good friend in Brian Stewart, who joins us virtually every day here on the show. Brian, we're at the Omni Hotel. You can see the traffic in the background. Let me show you what they've brought. We got a little of this.
Oh, wow.
Of that. A little of, got a different set of wings here. I mean, Watson is so jealous, but you know what? If he's so worried, he needs to get his butt down here.
But Watson, why do we never get an invite whenever the food is presented to George?
You nailed it. You nailed it, Brian. I didn't even know food was coming. I didn't get an opportunity to say, well, I'll be there.
Do you really think I knew food was coming?
If anybody would have known, you would have known.
There you go, Watson.
Yeah, that's not a bad point. I can't argue that. So, Brian, tell people before I get into the Braves and Mets and what's coming, tell them about your business.
George, we got a family-owned business here in Middle Tennessee. Been around since '74, which honestly, it blows people's minds that this company was started in 1974 here in Hendersonville. We have since then moved locations, obviously, from where we were at on West Main Street to East Main Street now in Hendersonville. And after I bought the brokerage, you know, one of the things that I wanted to concentrate on was not only keeping the family atmosphere with our company and keeping the values that brought us to the table here, I wanted to expand on that and bring us into the new age with the social media, with being on the George Plaster show. You know, all these things that we're doing is because we love being involved in our community. We love taking care of our clients. Our 99% of our business is based off referrals. And the reason for that is because we care. We care for our clients. We care about what is happening in that transaction. We care about what's going on with their family, what they need as far as what they're looking for in a new property. Georgia, I think customer and client care has, for whatever reason, gone by the wayside. And it's not just in real estate. I think everybody can relate that when you go to a fast food restaurant, it seems like you are doing a disservice by ordering something from them. Like you're bothering them by ordering a meal. And that's something that we want to reiterate, that whenever you come to us for one of the biggest transactions possibly of your life, that we take it serious. We want to take care of you. We want to put a smile on your face. We want you to know that we have you in good hands. So I encourage everybody, call us at 615-822-0750. Look us up on the web at onestoprealtytn.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. We have recently, as you can see in the background below that almost soon to be #1 Braves hat.
Yeah.
We have changed our logo to One Stop Realty and Auction. So we literally can cover all your needs. Give us a call. Let us help you. George, Watson, thank y'all as always for having me on the show. And George, please enjoy that food for me. I know you're going to be digging in those wings soon.
I'll box it up and send you a little bit.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you, sir.
No problem. You take care.
You too.
Watson, if you're a good boy, we may do the same for you.
No, that ain't happening. You trying to play little pretty Miss Good Guy right now. It ain't happening. I will not see anything but 3 carrots. That's what I'll see. Yeah, I know. Pick it up and show it to me again.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to what is becoming one of the best pennant races that has happened in a long, long time. This reminds me so much of 1993 when both the Braves and was it the San Francisco Giants? Yeah. when both of them won over 100 games in the regular season. But at that point, only your division winner would get in, and it went down to the final day of the season. We don't have many of those kind of races anymore. And so what I decided to do was do a little bit of a tale of the tape of where all this is going. Tonight, going in, the Braves play this evening in Washington. The Mets are home against the Marlins. They're dead even right now with their record. Both of them have the same number of wins and losses. So, what are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? In my mind, the Braves' biggest advantage is the fact they've got this 3-game series coming up in Atlanta against the Mets. The problem is this hurricane, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in just a minute. The advantage for the Mets is simply at times Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom are maybe starters 1 and 2 in the National League. Now, you may argue a couple of other pitchers that get in there, but the fact of it is Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom, they are the cat daddy of starting pitchers. To my way of looking at it right now, under the category of disadvantages is the fact that the Braves may have to use Jake Odorizzi twice in the next 7 games. He starts tonight, and my suspicion is that he is on the shortest leash that you've ever seen on a starting pitcher. And I don't doubt that Brian Snitker has told him what went on in Philly Friday night will not happen tonight, where he left down 8-0 in the 3rd inning. Yeah, he has started to catch my wrath. Watson, Jake Odorizzi has become the Kyle Wright of a year ago.
Ooh, yeah. A few apologies to Kyle Wright.
God, has he made me look dumb?
Oh, geez.
And you've loved every minute of it, which is even
I loved every minute of it, and I'm glad to see the young man coming through, because what a change. Wow.
So here is the intangibles. This hurricane, it's sitting out there. And if, those of us who ever watch the Weather Channel, this thing looks like it's for real. And what's it going to do this weekend? Because they're talking about very heavy rain down in the state of Georgia in the aftermath of the hurricane. And so the National League has been busy with these two teams. They've made a couple of decisions. Number one, they will not move the series up to Thursday, which may well be a mistake. And secondly, that they are not going to move these games out of Atlanta. And the Braves lobbied hard for that. My gut feeling in all of this, first of all, is that in trying to look at the weather patterns, I've played Weather Channel for the last 2 or 3 days, and I'll tell you why. Because if they play a day-night doubleheader on Sunday, my butt will be there. You can take that to the bank. Watson, I want to go, but I really want to go if there are 2 games in one day.
Yeah, and I think there will be.
I think there will be too, but I don't think we'll know it until late Friday night.
And I'd put that in the intangibles, because most of the times, George, you don't win both games in doubleheaders. I mean, that may be advantage Mets where they don't get swept, because I'm telling you, I think that could happen in this series. The Braves are just playing better than them right now.
One of 2 things I think will happen tonight. Number one, I think the Mets will win at home, but I also thought that last night and lost on the bet, as we'll see in a few minutes. I've never been more thrilled to lose the plaster bet of the day than last night. So my gut feeling is that they will come out of tonight even, because I don't think Brian Snitker is going to let Jake Odorizzi stink up the joint the way he has been. I think he'll be on an incredibly short leash. And, if he pitches great, so much the better. That's not likely. And I think this is going to be a heavy bullpen game for Atlanta, but the open date tomorrow will really help that. I think the Braves are going to win the division by about that much. And truthfully, The Mets are every bit as good as Atlanta because they have better starting pitching. Until Atlanta gets Spencer Strider back, the group of Max Fried, Kyle Wright, Charlie Morton, and I guess you'd say now Bryce Elder over Jake Odorizzi, the Mets starting pitching is better. And when you get to October, starting pitching is what oftentimes decides it. But Watson, I think the home games are going to trump the starting pitching, and Atlanta is going to win this division by about that much because they know how to win, and the Mets are still trying to figure it out.
If one side or the other wins 2 or 3, I don't think you're talking enough about the last 3 games because that will be big. I think after they finish playing each other over the weekend, they both still got to win the last 3 games, and who's going to pitch in those? That I'm telling you, unless one sweeps the other and they get a 2-game lead, George, I think those last 3 games are going to play more than we're talking about.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, where Atlanta has gotten lucky, this kid Bryce Elder has come out of nowhere through a 9-inning shutout Monday after they had been to the White House to see President Biden. He wasn't even part of the group in the picture, and yet he was the starting pitcher that night. First complete game shutout that they've had all year. And as you know, in baseball, it seldom happens anymore. Then last night, they got just enough from Kyle Muller to make it work, and their offense in the middle innings really picked it up. And so what they've been able to do because of that is now put Odorizzi out there tonight and hope and pray for something better than what he's been giving them. They'll go to their bullpen early if they have to. They'll treat it like a postseason game, which, to be honest, it is a postseason game, and then have their 3 biggies ready for the Mets series whenever they play. And Watson, I don't rule out in looking at that storm that they have to go back to Atlanta a week from tomorrow to play a final game, Braves and Mets. Not a 163rd game, but a rained out game from this weekend that they couldn't get in.
Well, and don't the Braves play the Marlins and the Mets play the Nationals? They reverse this. See, I think the Marlins are a much better team than the Nationals.
Agreed.
So the Braves have got a tougher opponent in the last 3. The Marlins pitching now, those young kids, you catch them right on a knot now, it's a toughie. So I think if the Mets get out just a game down, I'm not sure I agree with you. The Braves need to sweep this series, in my opinion.
Did you honestly think I was going to put the check mark for the Mets?
No, but I'm not saying the check mark. I'm saying I think the last 3 games are more important that we didn't discuss in that.
True.
I think that's an intangible that has to be discussed here.
Watson, I have to take it one series at a time.
Now, you can't think while you're eating anyway. So.
Well, but I've learned that load of crap from you coaches who put that out there one game at a time. Never look ahead. I mean, give me all of them.
Oh, jeez. This is getting deep.
You
go eat your double cheeseburger. Yeah, I know. Yeah, raise it up my face.
Yeah. We'll go to the break, and then Plaster Bet of the Day is coming up next from the Omni in downtown Nashville. Beautiful setting, beautiful food, a lot of traffic in the background. This is Main Street Media Television.
Serving Williamson and surrounding counties, Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee offers comprehensive orthopedic care with 16 subspecialized physicians. Our practice provides high-tech care with a hometown touch. We offer physician clinics, physical and occupational therapy, advanced imaging, and surgical services, including interventional procedures. Call us at 615-791-2630. We're Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. High-tech care with a hometown touch.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Hey, this is George Plaster, and I'm excited to announce that the second annual Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night is going to happen Monday, November the 28th at the Hermitage Strike and Spare. The three charities that will benefit are Last Minute Toy Store, Martha O'Brien Center, and Stars. And our intention is to get them that money so it can do the most amount of good at Christmas time. Now, here's where I need your help. I need you to sign up to play in the most fun charity event you've ever been involved in. Imagine 64 foursomes with 64 sports personalities in the area. As a single player, it's $200. If you get a foursome, it's $800. And what I want you to do is reach out to me via email, plastergeorge@gmail.com, and we'll get you signed up and get you ready and raring to go. Again, that's plastergeorge@gmail.com for a night you will never forget.
At Sumner Funeral and Cremation, our mission is to serve families as our own, celebrate the life of their loved one, and help begin the healing process.
My whole family, including my wife and my mom and siblings, were very happy with the treatment that we received. I would highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation.
We offer funeral, burial, cremations, and pre-planning services.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee. We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports cards, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards. We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
It is now time for Plaster's Bet of the Day, powered by Bart Durham Injury Law. They have aggressively protected the rights of a broad range of victims of car accidents and personal injury in both Tennessee and Kentucky. If you too have seen your life interrupted by an injury on a highway, in a hospital, or at your workplace, let their attorneys do the work fighting for the full financial compensation that you need. Learn more about Bart Durham Injury Law by logging on to bartdurham.com. And it is now time to check in, George, with the results from last night. Lost with the New York Mets. I looked at that score and chuckled a little bit. Just knowing, of course, that happened. Of course, I think you did it as a reverse jinx to yourself. So the Mets could lose. But 36-42 now, so that doesn't hurt you a whole lot. Can't let this snowball though. So last night, I mean, The Mets have a close game, George.
Well, it also featured 3 balks on 1 pitcher in an inning, which has never happened before in a major league game. It was a weird game. One of the biggest hits in the game was delivered by Kevin Stallings' son, Jacob.
Yeah.
Had a big single up the middle. I want to say in the 4th inning that extended the Marlins lead to 6-3. So good for Jacob, and thank you for helping my team. It doesn't help my record. This is one of the few times that I'm okay with losing.
Yeah, I didn't think you were fretting too much over that last night.
So
there was no graphic. So kind of describe with your words where you're going tonight.
Okay, I am taking the Astros tonight behind Justin Verlander against Arizona. I think this is Verlander's final start. I think it'll be very emotional. He is a free agent, and all indications out of Houston seem to be that he's not re-signing there. Watson, at 39 years old, he's had an unbelievable year. I believe he is a pitcher the Braves are going to target in free agency. I think there's a real shot as the Braves look, however this year finishes out, whether they repeat as world champions or go out early, in the playoffs. Right now, they feel like they're 1 starting pitcher short. And God, if you could put Justin Verlander for 1 year, the way they'd like to do it, where they don't have to sign him long term, but more likely for 1 year, I see that as a real possibility.
Ooh, boy, that's putting a lot of money on an older guy, George. Why would you not think about going after one of these young up-and-coming fireballers instead of that?
Because he's still a fireballer.
Yeah,
he's still bringing it. Watch
he has this year. I can't deny that. But
yeah, watch this year. This may be his home Astro finale, and I think he's going to go out in style. Hey, I want to read you one thing that a friend of mine just sent me. This is based on a weather forecast out of Atlanta. They are not expecting near the amount of rain they first thought as the track of Hurricane Ian has shifted east into the Carolinas.
Whoa.
Well, yeah, I haven't checked the Weather Channel.
That's
in a while.
interesting.
I've been busy. I've been busy.
Don't get choked up on that, George.
What are you having tonight for supper?
Bag of chips and Diet Coke, I guess, while you just stuff yourself.
Wow.
I hope you eat so much that your night is just miserable.
Really?
Just miserable.
Well,
you've just rubbed it in my face. And of course, what I saw, you could eat on that for the rest of the weekend.
Sure. Take it to Atlanta with me.
Well, thank you. Send me the carrot. Yeah, send me the carrot.
Tell you what, how about a celery stick?
Oh, yeah. That's dessert.
Hey, before we get out of here, and Watson, don't you dare mock me on this. My thanks to Todd Rotermel and the entire staff who cooked from 6 o'clock this morning on. By the way, there's food in the back. I didn't even know that until the last commercial. Man, they've got enough to feed an army. But thanks as always for the hospitality that we've had. Watson, we have underdog picks tomorrow, and you are the only happy camper.
How about
the only happy camper from last week? Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that? I don't have them very often.
No, we'll review at 5 o'clock.
Watson, you got to keep going with your. Who's the next old team to go with this weekend?
I don't have many old teams left. I'd have to go to East Carolina next, and that ain't one to go to. They're not doing too good.
The odds are, before this is over, based on his track record.
Yeah, I'll end up right back in.
He'll gag.
Yeah,
I'm banking on it.
There's a strong tendency. I know where I belong, and so we'll get there.
What is it? Water always finds its level, or what's the?
Yeah, and my level is very low.
Watson, here's a football goalpost.
What is going on?
From Carrots.
Yeah,
it's getting weird, Watson.
Thank you, George. Kick a double cheeseburger right through those 2 bars, will you? Right up toward Cookville.
See you tomorrow.
See you.
Billy, try to behave until then.
I'll do my best.
We will see you tomorrow on Main Street Media Television.